Do things that don't scale. A golden startup advice from the king of startups, Paul Graham. But what does it mean? Do things that don't scale? This doesn't even sound cool. I want it big and I want it quick, so why not scale? Many startups like Airbnb, Stripe were doing things that don't scale. Example number 1. Stripe, the most famous payment processing gateway. Stripe got their first clients manually. The founders literally approached other companies' CEOs and offered their labor for free. Let me quote this. More diffident founders ask, "Will you try our beta?" And if the answer is yes, they say, "Great, we will send you a link." But the Collinson brothers weren't going to wait. When anyone agreed to try Stripe, they would say, "Right then, give me your laptop," and set them up on the spot. This sounds so cool and inspires me a lot. Why spend priceless time on setting up ads, hiring social network managers, sales team to get what? Your first 10 customers? Why can't you do it by yourself manually? It will be easier and faster for sure. There are 2 reasons founders resist going out and recruiting users individually. One is a combination of shyness and laziness. They would rather sit home writing code than go out and talk to a bunch of strangers and probably be rejected by most of them. Do you recognize yourself? The next example is my favorite, Airbnb. Airbnb used to be small. The founders had humble goal to make their service be loved by 100 people. To learn their audience, Joe and Brian, the founders, used to fly to the place their hosts live and take good pictures of the apartments for them. By doing the manual labor of making good photographs, the founders were able to figure out this important detail which helped them to make a much better service. Let's listen to their story.
So Paul Graham said, all you have to do is get 100 people like you. Don't worry about millions of people. That was totally freeing. Because until then, I'm like, how the hell am I going to get a million people to do this if I can't even get my mom or my sister to do it? But I can find 100 people. And so we literally decided, do things that don't scale. If all you need to do is get 100 people to love you, do things that don't scale. It turns out 100 people that love you is really hard because it's easy 100 people to like you. 100 people to love you means you need to meet them. You need to understand the problem. And so we literally would fly during Y Combinator from Mountain View. We commuted from Mountain View to New York. We would go, Joe and I would go to New York, and we would go door to door, because New York was where most of our community was. We would meet with every one of our hosts, and we'd live with them. We literally would live with them. We'd write the first reviews for the places. And in fact, I would go there, and I'd be like, wow, the photos are terrible. This is actually a really nice house. And the host was like, well, I can't figure out how to get photos onto my computer. This is before really the iPhone and high-quality camera. This is like people had to plug a camera into their laptop. And so he thought, what if you just clicked a button, and a photographer next day would magically show up and photograph your home? And they thought that'd be amazing. And so I went home with Joe, and we borrowed a camera from one of our friends in Brooklyn, who was a photographer. And we knocked on the door, and they're like, hello, yes, I'm here, the photographer. And they're like, wow, this is a small company. The founder's also photographing my home.
The third example from my personal startup path. As you know, I sold my SaaS for $800. It was fun to get the money, but I instantly felt empty. This pressing sense of absence pushed me to experiment a lot and test new ideas. Since I'm making a business, testing an idea means finding a problem that people are willing to pay money for. A week ago, I soft launched my new SaaS. It's called Paracast. My new SaaS generates a 30 seconds promo video of your SaaS. It's easier to publish on social networks, product hunt, and help you to catch more attention of potential users. The launch was successful. I made $200 in sales just by making a tweet. All this without having an actual SaaS. Wait, what? You said you launched a SaaS. It's a software hosted on a server. So yes, but I did the thing that don't scale. Instead of building a SaaS with authentication, payments, login, databases, UI, video rendering, I just made a landing page and payment button. On that landing page, I said, pay now, get the video in 8 hours. Then I just took the money and rendered the video locally on my laptop. Of course, each video took me time to make. This approach is not scalable. Also, lots of people didn't understand why they have to wait for 8 hours. And where the hell is the sign up button? But is this a problem? I gave people the way to get a video, the product. And at the same time, I didn't have to build the entire application. I didn't want my MVP to bring me hundreds of clients. I was okay to have only 5. I need just 5 clients to validate my idea. And this was the goal. Now I'm sure the market needs my SaaS, and I will invest time in building the actual software for the people. Let's sum up. If you do lots of manual stuff, that's okay, especially at the beginning. You'll learn about your customers, how do they make a purchase, what are their current solutions. After you get this information, you will be able to automate it and only then scale it.